I already have the mortgage for my house in Spain, so today I'll tell you everything, which bank gave it to me, and what the conditions are. I'll share my experience with you. Hello everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm Anita Mateo. I'm from Cuba, in case you don't know me, and I've been living in Spain for almost 3 years now. I'm in the process of buying a house in Spain. Because I can, because I worked for it, and because I set my mind to it, so that's what I'm doing. And I'm going to tell you a little bit more about this, about everything I'm doing, about everything I've already accomplished. To explain everything I've learned along the way, this time we're going to learn about mortgages. I already have the apartment. That's something I haven't told you and I want to tell you. I already have the apartment I want. Yes, I have it. Yes, I know which one it is. And that's it. Today we're going to talk about mortgages and how I applied for a mortgage at the banks, the loans, which bank I went to, all of that. And that's it. Subscribe, like, and all that important stuff. One day I'll take you with me while I share these things. Okay, I'm taking my bag with me. I have a lot of things to do. This afternoon I have a doctor's appointment. I have private insurance that I pay for, and well, I thought I'd use the insurance. So I'm going to make an appointment at the dentist, and that's it. I have to bring my card. And I'm also bringing some gifts for Gretel's girls that I bought for them. I'm going to take advantage of this and see them. When I visit Coruña, I spend time with them because they're the closest thing I have to family in Galicia, my friends. We have a great time and help each other. I'll also share this with Gretel. A Stranger Things t-shirt because we love this show. I'm going to watch the first one, have breakfast, then go to my dentist appointment. I'm not excited about it. I don't like going to the dentist, but sometimes you have to do those kinds of things because we're adults. And, well, I'm here in the city of Coruña until 3. Around then, I have my dentist appointment. Let's see, come closer. And so, in the meantime, I'm going to have breakfast at a place called Ocavo, which is like the most viral tortilla place or something like that in Coruña. I didn't record because it was crowded and people were already filming and taking pictures for the newspaper and television. Maybe. I wish I had recorded that tortilla for you. Let me check for a photo. If you're in Coruña, you should really try it. It's the best I've tried, but I need the recipe. I know they won't give it to me, but I need it. And, well, I'm going to hang around here for a while until 3:30, which is my dentist appointment. And, well, another thing I wanted to tell you is that, for example, I went to apply for mortgages at the banks here in the city. I didn't go. Instead, I went to the Banco Bilbao, Vizcaya, Argenteria, and Caixa Bank in Carvalho. But then I came here to the city and went to Sabadell, to Banca, and to... I think it's the one with the lion and the little lion. I can't recall the name, but that's what they told me. ING. I did it in the city because they said it's better to apply for mortgages at big city offices instead of small town branches. That was a tip someone gave me, so that's what I'm doing. I mean, what I did, I already did it. And I'll tell you about the 2 banks that gave me the mortgage and the conditions they offered. It's autumn and Galicia looks beautiful with all the little leaves. You can really see the seasons as they are. By the way, I've been caught by the rain. I'm already heading to my doctor's appointment. I made it through the afternoon. It's 3:30 and I'm on my way. I'm a bit nervous, but I have to use the insurance because that's what I pay for. I honestly keep the insurance because I don't know, I like it. I like having it just in case. Some things here take time. You go here to the emergency room and they take care of you right away. For safety, for social security, for public services. But there are specific things that take a little longer. And for now, well, I've kept the insurance since coming from Cuba because it was necessary for the visa I applied for to have health insurance. With Sanitas was the one I got. I actually came with another one, but then I stayed with. I switched to this one, which was the one that they recommended to me because my friend had it too, so I stayed with it. It's not that I'm recommending it, but honestly, I don't use it much, but I have it there. For example, I've used it at the gynecologist for sure, the dentist especially, that's what I've used it for, to get my pap smear. Did you know that I never had it done in Cuba and I took the opportunity to have it done here? Getting dental care. There are some things you have to pay for and other things that are covered by insurance. So, well, I think I'm gonna go to my appointment. Here, it's at El Corte Inglés, at a clinic inside El Corte Inglés, and then I'll go home by bus. We'll keep talking over there about what you really want to know. Everything about the little house, which I'm dragging out this topic a little bit, and honestly, I'm telling you, I already have the little house, I already have everything processed, everything ready. I just need to go sign. But you'll see that in the next episode, I promise you. I just finished my appointment. Let me tell you, how much does a filling cost in Spain? Despite having private insurance, I still have to pay for these things even though I'm covered. That checkup they did for me, they took some x-rays like this, then they examined me in more detail. And I have a cavity and need a filling, but now they're recommending a cleaning, which is free and covered by insurance. Well, they gave me this paper here. I have to pay 79.90 for the filling, and I have the appointment in a few days. I have to do it. It's for my health, but I'm really scared. Like anything involving teeth gives me panic and terror. That's all. Do you know the cost of a filling in Spain with private insurance? I don't know if you also have to pay with public health care. I think you always have to pay for dental things, right? Well, I don't know. I'm just telling you about my experience. Hi, today is another day. I couldn't finish the video for you yesterday because last night around 6 or 7, yeah. And I got home late. It was already dark, so we're going to continue another day. Today is another day. It's not the same as yesterday. Let's finally discuss mortgages. How do you apply, and can you if you're from another country? Not living in Spain, not being a resident here in Spain, is there any preference for Spaniards or not? Is there a lot of flexibility for foreigners? Because I have to say that some mortgages were denied to me because I didn't have an identity document. So from 9 Spanish, because I'm not Spanish, at least that's what I gathered from their explanations, they often asked, when are you becoming Spanish? Are you handling paperwork? I have a número de identidad de extranjero. Can foreigners buy a house? The real estate agent I worked with in the video where I showed you some houses I visited because I was interested was the same guy. He said many people from abroad have recently shown interest in buying property in Spain, or just ignore the pile of clothes over there. This is a real channel. We don't pretend. My room's messy, so what? Now what? The way I'm applying for a loan is through a mortgage, where they give you assistance to buy the house. Based on my research, they can give you different percentages. I'm looking at between 80 and 90%, even 100%, but I'm going for 90%. That's what I would prefer because I have my savings and there are certain taxes to pay. And according to the budget I have for the house, look, I would need 90% so I don't end up with zero savings in this life. The houses I showed you in the previous episode, actually, I'm not going to buy any of those. I went to see them because I was interested in seeing them. Yes, I'm looking with the real estate agency, but actually I want something cheaper. I mean, that's what I can afford. Something under 100,000 euros. In fact, I already have the house I'm going to buy. I already know which one it is, and it's worth less than 100,000 euros. Actually, it's worth less than 90,000 euros. It's around there. It's in the range between 80,000 and 90,000. It's in the town of Carvalho. I want to stay in Carvalho, honestly, because it's where I live. I feel comfortable. My best friend lives here. Although my family is flexible, it's more comfortable starting in a small town than a big city. And since I work from home, honestly, I find it comfortable here to be at ease. I pay rent. And at the same time, when I apply for a mortgage, it's also going to be a cheaper mortgage. It's not going to be so expensive. Now, what do they ask you for a mortgage? I mean, what do you need to have to apply for this loan at the bank? And at the end, I'm going to tell you about my personal experience. You need to have a valid passport and also a número de identidad de extranjero. And this applies to foreigners like me. I don't know the conditions for Spaniards who have lived here all their lives. I'm speaking as someone from outside, Cuban, a foreigner. What they asked me for and what I presented to have my valid passport and my número de identidad de extranjero, which is my foreigner identification number. This is essential, right? Obviously, having your documents in order and up to date, and also having bank accounts in Spain. For example, my main account is at Banco Bilbao Vizcaya Argentaria. Oh, I can't handle this gift. My main account is at Banco Bilbao Vizcaya Argentaria. But I also went to other banks. I didn't just go to one bank, I went to several. In fact, Banco Bilbao Vizcaya Argentaria rejected me. I also opened an account at another bank. When applying for a mortgage, you need to open a bank account, so I opened one there. And one of the conditions, obviously, is to have a bank account in Spain. You need to show proof of income since the bank will require it. The bank must confirm you can pay the mortgage, so they'll request contracts or invoices. And since I'm self-employed, my self-employment registration and work history are relevant. They also asked me for last year's income tax return and this year's as well. They even asked for the quarterly taxes I pay. Income certificates from the last 3 months or something like that. They asked me for bank statements from the last 3 months. They also asked about my earnings. They asked for everything to be completely sure. You can pay for it, you're not doing anything wrong. They may request your bank statements for 3 to 6 months. For me, they asked for 3 months in advance or so. And also, about the income tax return, you have to have it paid and everything in order, Now you have to provide a minimum down payment. In this case, it depends on the mortgage you apply for. One bank offered me 80% while another offered 90%. I think I'll choose the 90% option. I also need to have 10% of the house's value saved. I think some of them... A bank didn't ask for many requirements like Imonen, show me your savings. They didn't say anything to me, but another bank did want me to have all my savings in that bank. And it was a bit stricter. Another thing they also look at is that you don't have any debt, that you have a good banking history, that you don't have debt, that you don't have things left to pay. Which maybe, obviously, in my case, it's going to be a first home. If it were a second home, that would be different. I'm talking about a first home. And you will also have other expenses such as appraisal fees, notary fees, registration, and also value-added tax expenses. There are many expenses and taxes, so you need good savings beyond that 10%. You almost need to have that same 10% again for all the expenses that come with everything related to the house. Now, what are the steps to buy with a mortgage? First, look for the property. I already have the house I want, the budget, and what I needed to request from the bank. Make sure the property has no liens or debts. All of this must be thoroughly checked. If you don't have one, open a bank account at the bank where you'll apply for the mortgage. Visit multiple banks, as each one here offers different options. I'm going to tell you which ones I went to and the 2 options I ended up with. After opening your account, the bank gives you their proposals, you submit the required documents, and then they conduct the recommended property appraisal. This appraisal should be a little higher than what the owner is asking for, so that the bank can lend you what you need. Then comes the mortgage approval. Mine was approved. It was about a month of waiting or something like that. Okay, now my personal experience. I went to Banco Bilbao Vizcaya Argentaria, which was my main bank, the one that welcomed me when I arrived in Spain. I didn't have a número de identidad de extranjero or anything, but with my passport, I opened my Banco Bilbao Vizcaya Argentaria account. So I said, well, Banco Bilbao Vizcaya Argentaria has always welcomed me. Let's try to get the mortgage there. No, sweetheart, no. I don't know why, but I have a feeling it's because I don't have a Documento Nacional de Identidad, I don't have a Spanish document, and my número de identidad de extranjero expires next year. They saw some risk and chose not to give it to me. Here are the mortgage proposals. This is from a banca, a bank that's also very present here. I opened an account at a banca because they were offering 300 euros for bringing your self-employed fee. And I said I'll take advantage and also ask about the mortgage. A banca offered me 80%. They didn't want to give me 90%. The girl asked when I would become Spanish, saying I'd have more opportunities as a Spaniard than they could otherwise offer. 90%, only 80%. So here they do it for you. You tell them how much the house costs and they make a simulation of the mortgage for you. Basically, you also get bonuses for life insurance, home insurance. These bonuses kind of lower your interest rate or something like that in the future. I don't understand this much. They give you a credit card and you have to have a paycheck over 600 euros plus payment protection insurance. All of that gives you like advantages later. Now here it tells you everything you needed to have saved and everything you were going to have to pay. For example, approximate mortgage expenses. The appraisal cost was 260 euros, the simple note 18 euros, annual damage insurance, 334 euros quarterly commission and account maintenance, 36 euros totaling 648 euros. All of this is separate from the percentage I have to have saved, okay? This isn't my 10% or 20%. In this case, in banking plus the tax was going to me. If you're under 36 years old and it's your first home, they lower the percentage for you. That's kind of like a tax that depends on the autonomous community. It's 7 or 8%. But if you're under 36 years old, like in my case, and it's your first home, they lower it to 3%. The notary, 913 euros. The registry, 369 euros. The agency, 456 euros. This was a large amount, which I also needed to have saved. And here it said that the bank would cover the cost of the tax, the registry, the agency, and the notary. Well, it wasn't that bad either. They were very attentive. That's something I have to say. They treat you really well. They're super attentive. That's all. They didn't treat me badly, not even for being myself, even though they saw me as a bit strange. Like, you young lady, are you shopping alone? Is it just you? And well, I did feel a little like, and I was like, yes, yes, very confident, very much like that. Besides, they treat you very well and explain everything to you. I went to CaixaBank, but honestly didn't like the conditions of the bank. I went to Sabadell, where they explained everything very well and gave me 90%. So you can guess which mortgage I chose. Of course, they give you 90%, but the interest rates are a little bit higher. These are things you need to keep in mind. But anyway, I'm going to explain all of that in the video that I bought and show you the house I already purchased. I'm saying that as if I had already done it. I'm giving you a little hint. I'll explain all of that later. But I did go with Sabadell's offer. Sabadell gave me 90% with an interest rate of, well, this is my personal case. It's not that I'm promoting this bank now. I'm not going to promote any bank. Because everyone has a different situation and different conditions. Everyone is different. Banco Bilbao Vizcaya Argentaria rejected me, but for you who are a different person from me with other life circumstances, they approve you and everything is fine. I'm not promoting this bank, just sharing my personal experience. Sabadell was the bank that offered me the 90% mortgage, but now its interest rate is higher than Abanca's. But what's going on? With those interest rates, it means you end up paying more money in the long run than what the property actually costs. It's an advantage and a convenience in life to buy your own house and pay for it gradually. I'm not sure I'm explaining this well. Anyone more knowledgeable can share their explanations below to help me understand. And well, I'm going to be 100% honest with you. I've been doing this paperwork possibly since June. I spent the whole summer on this paperwork, on these things, asking questions, doing research. You need to consider it carefully due to interest rates, plus they offer payment options of 10, 20, or 30 years. You also have to see how all that works, because the more years you add, I think the more interest you pay, and the faster you pay it off, the less interest you pay. Something like that. It's like they explain everything to you right now. I don't remember, but they do explain everything to you. And there are things you have to keep in mind because in the long run, the interest rates go up. It also depends on how the market is. Another important thing is whether it's a fixed or variable interest rate. I chose a fixed interest rate, which means you'll always pay the same amount, because a variable interest rate would be something different. I mean, one day it could be low, another month you might pay a lot. It depends on how the market is doing or something like that. So I chose an important fixed interest rate, so you always pay the same amount. I would recommend a fixed interest rate so there are no surprises, because you never know how the market is, how things can change, and how interest rates can vary. And well, I've spent the whole summer, well, it's almost November now, but I've spent all this time on this. It's been stressful and worrying, debating if I should do it, but then I realized it's a dream. It's something I never imagined I could ever have the chance to have my own house, my own home. Here in Spain, it gives you a sense of security and stability that, I don't know, it's me. Here in Spain, I feel like I've achieved so many things and I'm so grateful to this country. In Cuba, I never imagined this, and yes, I was going to mention Cuba again, but is it true? You can't imagine what we go through and need in Cuba. If you haven't been there or aren't from there, you can't imagine not seeing a future for the country. I always grew up without seeing a future for myself in the country I'm from, in the country where I was born. The only future I could see for myself was an airplane and leaving. So I never had this mentality of settling down, of having a little house, of having something of my own. And here in Spain, well, I was given the opportunity and I took it, and it's like, I don't know. I'm so excited, it still feels unreal. I also know many people will have opinions or criticize. Oh, look, it's not like, I don't know, a doctor or a Spanish engineer who maybe has a harder time buying a house. I think with a mortgage, almost anyone can, if they work and save, they can buy a little house, But I know there are a lot of young people who still can't afford to buy a house. Because I'm doing it. Because life gave me this opportunity and I'm taking it. I'm not responsible for how the system works or fails. I don't control it. If you're going to spread hate, will you really leave those comments? That's all. I'm someone who has worked, saved from what I've earned, and taken this opportunity for my future and my family's. If my family visits Cuba, they have a place to stay and I don't need anyone's permission. It's my house and security, that's all. I hope you like this video and this rambling I've given you, but see it as a little motivational speech. If I did it, you can too. Many Cubans are now receiving and validating their diplomas, including doctors and engineers. And they're going to start working. I want you to know it's possible. You can save, apply for a loan, and have your own little house like I did. If I could do it, so can many others. You just have to focus, not waste, and prioritize important things. Don't forget to subscribe, it's totally free. That way you help me maybe buy something, because when I buy the house, I'll be left with nothing. So please give it a like, comment, and all those things to help this channel keep growing. Big kiss, love you all. Bye, take care, see you next Sunday, and I really hope you enjoyed this video and found it informative.